Before we get into it, loosespears.com, come and see me live in 2025. April, I'm doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival. All shows are on sale. I'm performing from the start of April towards the end of it, loosespears.com. Then I go to Sydney in May. Those shows are almost sold out. Brisbane, May 16. That's even closer. I think there's maybe 30 seats left. I don't know, 30 or 40. Then we've got Adelaide, which I assume is also selling really well. Loosespears.com, please get your tickets now. I'm not kidding you. They are all close to selling out. If you listen to this, I want you to have first priority. So don't wait, get them now. loosespears.com. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the studio. Welcome to Spearhead Sundays, the Spearhead Sundays podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Spears. Let's get into it. Okay, first up. Now, a lot of people had a go at me for what I said last episode, which was basically making the claim that DEI was responsible for all of these plane crashes, which our great President Trump, and I say our because I'm an aspiring immigrant, okay? So I'm an aspiring immigrant, so as far as I'm concerned, whoever the president happens to be, I agree wholeheartedly with whatever they say and do. Because I want in, let me in, all right? He's the only pro-legal immigration president there ever has been, which sucks for me because legal immigration is so expensive. I booked a call with an immigration lawyer. Do you know how much money that costs? Bring back Joe Biden. When he was asleep at the wheel, you could just jump the fence. Bring him back. I'll go in via Canada, whatever. The point is, I said, because Trump said, because he's my president, because I'm an aspiring immigrant, therefore, any comments I make publicly online about him must be 100% in agreement with everything he says or does, regardless of what I actually think, because I want to get in. Trump said that the latest plane crash where the helicopter crashed into the plane, a disaster, he immediately blamed it on DEI. And then the corrupt media jumped on him and started to say that that was a knee-jerk reaction that was going to stow dissent and discontent and hatred against anyone involved with DEI. Well, guess what? They just released the recording pulled from the black box of the airplane that actually shows us that DEI was to blame in this entire incident. We've got recorded evidence of the helicopter pilot, the plane pilot, and the air traffic control that proves without a shadow of a doubt that DEI was the cause of this accident. So let's have a listen to that. It's just been released. This is breaking news.
This is non-binary captain to DEI traffic control. Do you read?
Loud and clear, Captain. This is DEI traffic control. You're speaking with a demisexual disabled furry. Please confirm pronouns.
Hey guys, I'm trans, and that's why I can't fly a helicopter or be in the military.
Guys, it's a gender term. Please use folks in the future.
Oh no! Gay day, we're going down.
Very damning stuff. Doesn't look good for all the fake news mainstream media trying to say that Donald Trump blaming a tragic accident on allowing brown people to fly planes. Really makes them look kind of silly, doesn't it? Now that we have recorded audio evidence of DEI being the only cause of that horrific accident. So it's good to be back. I'm happy to be home. We are back in the studio. I've upgraded the equipment a little bit. If I sound a bit different, I'm hoping that it sounds better. Please do let me know in the comment section below what you think of how I sound. Not what I say, because as we all know, everything I say on here is correct. So if you disagree with me, you're just wrong. And you will be piled upon in the comment section. But if you have some feedback on how we could improve the sound, I'm all open to it. Now, Donald Trump, I think, is obviously one of the most divisive presidents that there ever has been in recent history. However, there is one thing that he's done that I could not find. I wouldn't say that I would agree with it, but I couldn't imagine a president making a more relatable move. Like he signed an executive order that I don't necessarily agree with, but I wholeheartedly understand, and I absolutely get why he did it. And honestly, if I were in his position, I would be signing executive orders like this, which probably isn't a good thing. And that's also why I should never be president. But someone like this has become the president and he's just doing these types of executive orders. And I think that's what I would do. All right. So Trump's gone in. His latest executive order is to ban plastic straws. He said, ban paper straws. He said, we're going back to plastic. Fuck those turtles. Now, I think that is probably a bad idea. And I'm going to explain why. But I totally sympathize with Trump because if I was president, I'd be doing insane shit like that too. I'd be signing executive orders like, man, if you sell any size at your cafe other than small, medium, large, public execution. That's the type of executive order that I would sign, and that's why I shouldn't be president. But here we have a guy just like me in the White House, and that's great. And he's got a really, really, really autistic friend, arguably retarded. I mean, that's just like me and Keelan. Keelan's here, by the way. So, look, I don't agree. I think that plastic straws should be banned because I think there's enough plastic in the world, and I just don't think that a straw is necessary at all. Like, honestly, and don't fucking jump down my throat, all right? Why do straws exist at all? Have a think about that. If you can justify the existence of straws at all, I will allow you to have plastic straws. But all these people complaining about how paper straws fall apart, I just look at these people and I go, do you know what a fucking cup is? Why do you need the straw at all? Oh man, the straw falls apart when I'm drinking from my fucking cup. Use the cup, idiot. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I needed to use a straw. Where like drinking wouldn't work just as well. Like why do straws exist at all? Can someone enlighten me? Oh, because maybe they shut up. We don't need them. There's enough fucking plastic in the world where we don't need straws. Ban all straws. If I'm president, I'm public execution for anyone who calls a drink a silly name, like a big boy. You're dead on sight. But also, we're banning paper straws and plastic straws. I'll allow like reusable metal straws. That's it. Like if you're absolutely the type of spastic that can't use a fucking cup, they need a straw. You can have a metal one. Like why do we have straws at all? What's the existence of them? I'll tell you what it is: to sell more straws. But if I get my cold little drinky, I want to drink it out of the. If straws exist, now we got to get a fucking plastic cup that has a little spot for a straw. And now there's so much more plastic. And let me tell you something. There's enough plastic. You know what I read the other day that scared the shit out of me? That every now and then I will read a headline that is so scary I have to fact check it. Every other headline I read, I just believe it. All right? You know, if someone told me that 2 + 2 is now 3, if I saw that 3 times on Twitter, I'd be like, well, I guess it's 3. You know, because I don't have the time to fact check. I'm a busy man. All right, I've got a very important job of yelling into a microphone once a week, twice a week if you support me on Patreon, which you should. Right? I'll use your support to buy a metal straw and kill a sea turtle with it, my bare hands. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't fact check things. I mean, if you're a long-time listener of the show, you know that I come on this show and I say things that I read on social media, and then I say them as if they were either an original thought of mine or as if I read the original source that some other guy is repeating. You ever see that? Like, you ever see someone just lie to your face about reading something? Like they go, I read this study that said this about nutrition. And then they start talking about it and you realize that they didn't read the study. They're just regurgitating a TikTok from a charismatic guy who claims to have read the study, but probably just skimmed the conclusion of the study. And if he were to read it, wouldn't fucking understand it anyway. You know, you ever catch somebody else doing that to you? You ever catch yourself doing that to someone else? You'd be like, what the fuck am I even saying? What the fuck am I telling this stranger? Like I'm pretending to be a nutritional expert that reads studies? I can't even fucking finish a book. You think I'm going to read a study? Let alone a study about nutrition and comprehend it enough to be able to explain it in layman terms to some fucking idiot I bumped into? We're all doing this. I know you've done this before. I know you've gone, I read the other day, and you're just fucking rewording a YouTube short you watched 30% of. Like a fucking moron pretending to be smarter than you are. I know what you're doing, all right? Because I do it too. We all do it. You've probably fucking done it after I've said something on a podcast. You know? Like I watched an Instagram reel from some guy saying something objectively untrue, and then I reworded it, said it to you, and now you're telling someone else, and they're going, wow, this person's so smart. You idiot. You believe in me? I don't know what I'm talking about. I turn the mic on and I fucking go, and then you're like, oh, I'm learning. Oh, yeah? Here's what I read the other day that scared me so much that I thought, fuck, I need to fact check that. And I did, and it's true. You know how we've all got microplastics in our body, right? In our blood, in our skin. Fellas, in your coin purse, in your nuts. Microplastics in there. You think you're fucking blowing loads into your beautiful girlfriend. Turns out you're filling her up with even more microplastic. You know, every time I have sex, I feel like a 3D printer. Just blowing out plastic shapes. Anyway, I read this the other day. That's true. All right? We know that we now have microplastic in our brain. And they've been studying this. And they've been keeping up with it. They just did a massive study following up of a previous massive study. The previous massive study found a concerningly high amount of microplastics in our brain. Right? Now, if you don't know what microplastic is, I think we covered this on a previous episode. I thought microplastic was like something that was so small you couldn't even see it, right? Micro can go up to the size of a grain of rice. Huh? That's what classifies as micro. Don't believe me? Google it. It's true. Or at least I heard someone on TikTok say it, and now I'm saying it to you as if it were true. But I'm pretty sure I've also fact-checked that one. Micro means grain of rice. Nanoplastic is what I think we all assume microplastic to be. But no, we've got lots of microplastic, which is as big as a grain of fucking rice. And then we also have nanoplastic, which we can't really accurately test for. But it's there. Feeling like a fucking Lego man. I feel like by the time I get to the end of my life, my fingers are just going to be like this, and I'll only be able to equip certain lightsabers and hammer-like tools. So this is what I read. They did a follow-up study to have a look at how much microplastic is in our brain, because the thing with the microplastic in your brain is that it can kind of get in, but it struggles to get out. Right? So it flows all around your body, all good, but once it passes the blood-brain barrier, it can't really get out. So anyway, they followed up on this microplastic study to see how much more plastic or less plastic is in people's brains. Turns out it's effectively tripled since they did the last big study. And do you want to know how much microplastic is in your brain right now and my brain? Enough to make a spoon. You and me and everyone you meet has enough plastic in their fucking brain to make a spoon. I want you to think about that every time you read something that fucking stupid online from an idiot. That it's so wrong that it makes you fucking angry. You go, this fucking moron. Don't reply. Just think to yourself, that guy has a spoon in his fucking brain. That's why he's so dumb. A spoon of plastic. If you took all of the plastic out of my brain and yours, we could have 2 spoons. I could look like Alakazam. What type of spoon are we talking, though? You know, like that was my first thought. Like, are we talking teaspoon? Because that's not too bad. A teaspoon doesn't freak me out as much as, say, like a soup spoon. Fuck, there better not be a ladle in my skull. You know what I mean? Imagine there's a fucking ladle in there. That's why I can't remember anything that I learned in high school, because there's just some fucking wicked witch stirring her massive spoon in a cauldron, and that's my brain. There's a fucking spoon in your head. Dude, we're fucked. That has me thinking, like, how much more room is there? I didn't know I had room for a spoon. If you rolled up to a hospital and with a headache and they scanned your brain and they saw a fucking soup spoon in there, they'd be like, how is this guy not dead? But every single one of us has a spoon's worth of plastic in our brains. Oh, that makes perfect sense. No wonder there are so many people on Facebook looking at those AI images being like, oh my God, it's real. Every single time you see one of those AI posts on Facebook with 60,000 likes, that's the person who has a fucking spoon in their skull and it's in the wrong places. A fucking spoon, dude? A spoon of plastic. That's true. Google it right now. If you can figure out how to. How much more plastic is going to go in our brains before the entire population just starts to drop dead? Like, that's a serious question. That's why when Trump's like, we're bringing back plastic straws. Hey, brother, let's bring out a straw that can suck the plastic out of our fucking brains first. Let's invent that kind of straw. Dude, do you know, like, I feel ever since I read that last week, ever since I've been thinking, I feel like a fucking ice addict. The spiders underneath my skin. The spoon inside my brain. It's crossed the blood-brain barrier. There's a spoon in my brain. A spoon in my fucking skull, man. We're doomed. It's over. As soon as I read that, I thought, I'm never arguing with anyone ever again. Because not only does that fucking idiot have a spoon inside his brain, so do I. We're both stupid. Why are we even talking? I think this explains everything. People go, why aren't movies any good anymore? Why, when they shoot a movie at night, can't I see anybody? Because when they released Lord of the Rings, there was only a thimble worth of plastic in the lighting director's brain. Now, every person who tries to light a scene at night has a fucking spoon in their brain, and they go, oh, why don't we just make it look like nighttime in real life? I can't see anything. Game of Thrones sucks. That's why when you read a book now, you're like, this is good. And then you read a classic, you're like, this is unbelievable. I can't fucking comprehend how good this is. And that's because Hemingway didn't have a spoon in his brain and a phone in his hand. Dude, honestly, for real. As soon as I read there was a spoon in my head, I started deleting apps on my phone. I was like, I know for sure that social media is making me dumber. I don't have room for Instagram and a spoon in my head. I can only have one, and as of yet, we haven't figured out a way to get the spoon out, so it looks like Instagram has to go. We're fucked. And Trump's like, hey, let's get straws back into action, dude. Let's fucking go. Which I have to respect, because obviously he was very personally annoyed by plastic straws. Trump's very funny because like, one day he'll make a wildly he'll make a wildly courageous, and not necessarily in the well thought out way, but like the courageous as in like, I reckon I could fucking jump over that type way decision that like at the time seems insane, but then in hindsight is like, fuck, that was a genius actually. Right? But then also he'll just like read something on Twitter and be like, that should be a law. You know? There's never been a smarter guy more easily swayed by the opinions of others. Some fucking idiot on Twitter, currently known as X, was like, straws suck now, they fall apart. And Trump's like, yeah, that's an executive order, dude. What a fucking waste of time. Yeah, anyway, I can't remember what I feel like this is a tangent that I just went on and I can't remember where I was going, but you can't fault me for that because I've got a spoon in my head. Forever and ever, whenever I read an email from someone who can't spell, I'm just going to be like, well, that guy's got a spoon in his fucking head. And you know what's crazy, right? Is I'm 31 and I can't really remember, again, because of the spoon in my brain. But I'm pretty sure that the people that they were testing were around my age. So I've got a spoon in my head. But you, the Zoomer, or even worse, the Gen Alpha, listening to this, what are they, like 7 years old? Stop fucking listening to this. Go and do your homework that you can't understand because you've got a fucking baby rattle in your mind. Anyway, what I'm saying is the younger you are now, the more plastic is going to be in your brain. So like, I don't know, if you're 15 now, by the time you're my age, you won't have a spoon's worth of plastic in your head. You'll have like a whole set of cutlery in there. You know? By the time I'm 80, I'll be able to extract all of the plastic in my brain and 3D print a cutlery set so expansive I would need to hire an English manners expert to tell me what the spoons are and for what use each fork is. You ever see those videos of that English gentleman and he's got like 65 different pieces of cutlery in front of him unrolled on a napkin and he goes, well, this is the soup spoon and that's the dessert spoon and we don't touch this before that and we don't use this and this is used in the left hand and that's used in the right hand. You'll have a full fucking set of cutlery in your brain. Because it's more convenient to suck on a straw than use a cup as intent. Like, what I'm saying is we don't need straws because it's made of plastic. Plastic bad. We need to completely limit the amount of plastic that we use in our environment. Because if we don't limit plastic enough, eventually our brains will be mostly plastic and then we'll start advocating for the use of more plastic because the plastic will assume control of our brains. Although I'm now thinking of the benefits of this, like eventually if we up the plastic, right, if we get enough microplastics in the brain, we won't need helmets anymore because we will have one built in. We'll have a plastic helmet that encircles the fucking brain inside our skull. So UFC would get better. No more concussions. People won't be able to be knocked out unless you choke them out. But then UFC would get worse. No one likes a submission win. Everyone wants to see a knockout. Okay, well, UFC would get worse. NFL would get better. No helmets. People would start charging into each other even faster. Dude, I can't believe that there's like a couple thousand people in here that have spoons in their brains. If you ever feel bad about a mistake that you made or a test that you failed or an error in judgment, just close your eyes and picture a spoon and visualize that in your fucking head. And you'll be like, that's why I'm an idiot. It's not my fault. And then go out there and find a CEO and you know what I mean? Mamma mia! Oh! Yahoo! You know what I mean? Oh my God. I have a spoon in my head. Anyway. Speaking of people who've lost their fucking minds, Kanye West is tweeting. I don't think I've seen someone tweet this much since Elon Musk got into his ketamine stash. This man has been tweeting nonstop. Here's a quote from Kanye West. I'm a Nazi. He wrote that shit on Twitter. Started talking about how I love Hitler. I don't know if this part's fake news, but I saw an image of Kanye releasing a t-shirt that has a swastika on it and HH for Heil Hitler. I don't know if that one's true. Okay, I have to Google that one. I can't just put that on him, but I'm pretty sure Kanye West Yeezy HH t-shirt. Surely not. Because the image that I saw just had like a swastika on it. I feel like that was fake news. Oh. Kanye West advertises Nazi swastika t-shirt in new Twitter storm, then claims 12-hour rant when he praised Hitler, boasted of controlling wife Bianca Censori, and slammed Jews and plus-size women was a social experiment. Slamming plus-size women? Well, who hasn't done that in a moment of desperation? Yeah, and it's just like a t-shirt with a swastika on it. It says HH. I saw him in the middle of the tweet storm say all this kind of insane shit, and it seems like the guy is claiming to only be doing this to prove that no one has control over him. You know, like basically trying to shake off any sort of control that anyone may have over him, whether that's employees quitting or manufacturers or distributors or banking services or any service that he may use dropping him. I think he's just fucking going all out to get rid of fucking everyone that isn't just the most staunch supporter of a clearly very mentally unwell man. You know? But it's no wonder that Kanye West has a lot of sympathy for the Nazis. I mean, you look at how much he gasses himself with nitrous oxide. No wonder he's like, yeah, those are my people. Yeah, the guy's lost it. The one thing that I saw that really got me and seemingly got everyone else. Yeah, it is really funny with watching what like a lot of people will tolerate when it comes to Kanye West versus won't with Kanye West. So, for example, all of the anti-Semitic stuff, obviously, there's like a considerable amount of people who are like, nah, that's all good. I still like graduation, right? But then he went full on like, no, I love Hitler. I am a Nazi. And then a significant chunk of even the anti-Semitic people were like, well, we don't like Nazis because those were the bad guys in World War II and my grandfather died fighting them and blah, blah, blah. So we lost them, but there were still a few people. But then he said, free Diddy. And that's when he lost seemingly absolutely everyone. So it is interesting that in the eyes of even white supremacists, even Nazis are like, nah, Diddy's heaps. That's a lot. We don't want to free Diddy. So in the eyes of everyone, including the worst people on earth, Diddy is worse than Hitler. So that's an interesting insight into the political climate that we're in. I mean, that's good for women and victims of sexual abuse, I suppose. But when he really lost me, and not that I was with him, but when he really lost me, was he posted a screenshot of that super viral security camera footage of Diddy naked, except for wearing a towel, chasing after this woman, where he dragged her back into a hotel room to further hurt her. He wrote, when a man truly loves a woman, he may express it in rage. I empathize with both sides. And that's just absolutely, completely fucked. A very famous, influential man going out and talking to his audience about how not only like justifying violence against women, it's even like worse than that, because it's not like, oh, he hit her, but maybe she started it, or, you know, he hit her, but like whatever, it's not even making excuses for violence against women. It's like advocating for violence as a form of love, right? So it's not even defending isolated incidents or saying, well, it's okay in these circumstances. It's like saying to men, no, hitting a woman is like a way that you can love them. So any man who's like saying shit like that is an absolute fucking piece of shit garbage. And luckily, because his music sucks so much now, he hasn't released a good song for fucking 5 years. Not since The Life of Pablo has this man released anything even listenable more than once. The guy's absolutely fucking washed. He's cooked his own fucking brain. The guy's got a whole spoon inside his mind. He somehow managed to fuck it up even more by filling the rest of the empty space with nitrous oxide. The fucking pathetic little moron is such a dropkick idiot that now I don't have to separate art from the artist because he is such a fucking garbage dropkick loser that he sucks as much as his recent music does. So fuck Kanye West. Is what I think about that. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Bloke. Seems like he's selling more clothes than ever. But seemingly, even according to him, that seems to be coming a lot from China and Chinese people buying his stuff. Because throughout this whole rant, he was like, oh, by the way, I love China. I would never say anything bad against China. See, that's a really interesting thing for all these fucking social justice influencer type people, and even like the opposite end of it, like the right-wing MAGA say anything you want type people. None of these people on either side of the political spectrum ever say anything negative about China if they're making money from their fucking government. You know, Elon Musk talking about government censorship and fighting against communism and all this kind of stuff. He won't say a word against China, will he? You know, even though now he's intimately involved in government, which is supposed to, and the American government, which is supposed to be like ideologically the enemy of China. Right, because you're supposed to be all for freedom of speech and freedom of expression and the ability to create without being censored and the ability to actually own things and small government. These people don't say anything about China. Kanye West going off about freedom of speech and I don't want to be controlled and blah, blah, blah. He won't say anything about China because he knows that if anyone's going to control anyone, it'll be the Chinese government and they'll be like, okay, you can't buy Easy products anymore. So seemingly as loopy as this man with his spoon and his nitrous oxide filled brain is, he'll advocate for hitting women, but he won't talk about freedom in China. So that's awesome. Good on him. God help his wife. You guys see that? Him at the Kanye West and Bianca Censori at the Emmys. You know what's crazy about Bianca? She's Australian. Right, and I don't know what age she is, but she's like roughly in my age demographic, and she lived in Melbourne for a while. So what's crazy about Bianca Censori is I actually know, I've actually met people who have fingered her in nightclubs. Isn't that a funny degree of separation? You know, I've shook the hand that has been in the same place as Kanye West. Isn't that an amazing thing? It's a small world after all. I know someone who was fingering Bianca Censori in nightclubs before she was the Bianca that we all know and love, the seemingly mute woman with the beautiful breasts. I say what you like about Kanye West's political opinions. He knows a good pair when he sees one. I think that man, after he lost Kim Kardashian West, was like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to scour the entire planet for the best pair of heavy naturals I can find. And he found him in Australia, and that should be a point of national pride. God help her, and I hope she's returned safely to us, because I can't imagine she's in a safe situation. But I will say this, great pair. Kanye West is the most porn-addicted man of all time. to the point where there are just about every single artist who has worked with him has confirmed that this man puts on pornography while he's making music, which, by the way, because undeniably before he cooked his own brain with anti-Semitism and nitrous oxide, he was a brilliant musician. He's lost all of that now, and now he just seems to be like a gooner that hates Jews, which, you know, is most of them. But when he was a good musician, when he was making My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, apparently he just put pornography on TV in the studio. So if you guys are enjoying this episode more than other episodes, I just want you to know that there's behind this camera, it's just wall-to-wall gangbangs. We've got Angela White over there. Over here, we've got Adam22's wife getting plugged by some other bloke. Down here, we've got your favorite YouTuber's girlfriend's OnlyFans. And then just here, we've got some private videos your mother sent to me personally. So I feel like this is really helping my creative process, just having all of this pornography on the walls. And if anyone would like to work with me, just know we do not have a HR department and we never will for obvious reasons. But anyway, Kanye West, Bianca Censori, they go to the Grammys uninvited. Now, when I saw that, I thought, why wouldn't the Grammys invite Kanye West? And then I remember the last time he did his tweet storm. A tweet blitzkrieg, if you will. They went to the Grammys, right? Uninvited. And I guess when you're so famous that all of the security would recognize you, they would probably just assume that you're invited, right? If I'm a security guard and I haven't been explicitly told that Kanye's not allowed in, I don't know everyone who's been invited. There's thousands of people that go to these things. So if I saw Kanye West rock up in a limo and photographers are taking photos of him, I'm like, all right, well, let him in, right? So they go in and they make it to the red carpet. Bianca Censori is wearing this beautiful fur coat. Kanye West is wearing like just black sweatsuit, hoodie up, sunnies, right? They get to the red carpet and then Bianca Censori takes off her fur coat and she's wearing some kind of glad wrap dress, completely see-through, and she's got a beautiful, perfectly symmetrical, heaving natural breasts out, nipples pointed directly towards me, the audience. Camera's going wild. Kanye's just standing there. Like, it's obviously just like some kind of exhibitionist, fetish, sexual gooner activity where Kanye West shows up and goes, "Gaze upon my wife's glorious natural breasts." And part of me is very grateful because I mean, I'm not Kanye West. I'm not a former musical visionary. I wouldn't be able to, scour planet Earth for the best pair of. Do you ever wonder how he did that? Do you ever think like he was? Because if I'm a billionaire gooner, right? Of which I was going to say there's only one Kanye West, but that's not true. There's like, I would say that obviously Kanye West, if it's billionaire, small pool already, right? So I would say top 10 gooners, Kanye's number one. And then probably number 2 to number 6 or 7 is probably taken up by anonymous Saudis, oil barons, right? Because if that weren't true, how the fuck do you explain all of these like 11 out of 10 Instagram girls who only have like 40,000 followers on Instagram going on spontaneous month-long trips to Dubai, all right? Someone is pooing on those chests, all right? Like there's got to be a few fucking Saudi billionaires wearing a house on their wrist doing big dookies on those beautiful women's breasts. But we don't know who they are, and if we did know who they were, they'd have too many syllables to pronounce their names. All right, so we'll just put them, 2 to 6, 2 to 7, and then you'd put number 8. I reckon you go with Elon Musk, clear breeding fetish. All right, look at how many children he has. He dressed up. What's the name of the woman who everyone either loves and thinks is perfect, or hates and thinks is evil? Aquaman's wife, whatever her name is, dressed her up in cosplay, posted it on the internet. True Gooner behavior, right? Also, suspected racist anti-Semite, arguably, who knows? Also very autistic, which again, prime Gooner profile. And then I'd say closely below him is Jeff Bezos, recent Gooner, and his new, strangely plastic, weird looking in the face wife, who everyone is like, oh, why does Jeff Bezos have a wife who's that old, beautiful though she is, when he could have any woman in the world? Why wouldn't he pick like the most beautiful 21-year-old you've ever seen? I'll tell you why, because she absolutely lets him fuck other chicks and films it and says, well done, Jeff. Like that, like, what do you mean? People going, oh, what is this nerdy, formerly very nerdy, probably socially isolated billionaire see in this woman when she's, you know, kind of hot, but you know, not like so hot that you would sign away half your billions to. Yeah, it's like, are you really mystified at that? It's because she looks like she could suck a golf ball through a fucking hose, and she absolutely does that while bringing him other women. Like, that's a no-brainer, dude. Like, she's Ghislaine Maxwell, but hopefully they're all of age. That the ones that she's bringing in, and you know, actually not hopefully, definitely, I would like an Amazon Prime special. And then I don't know who I'd put as like the number 10 billionaire Gooner. Who is there? There's Bill Gates. Doesn't seem to be, got a wife and kids, some big fat man tits. I wouldn't put him there. I don't think I know that many billionaires. Let me Google billionaires, and we'll decide together who we think is a degenerate Gooner. Billionaires. Let's have a look. The world's billionaires. Here we go. The richest people in the world ranked by gooning ability? Probably not. It is Forbes magazine. All right, so here we go. Warren Buffett, I don't think so. I just think he's very autistic and likes looking at charts. Who's this? Mukesh Ambani. Who's that? Ambani. Where is... I don't recognize that name. Mukesh Ambani. Who's Mukesh Ambani? Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani is an Indian. Yeah, we'll put him at 10. Anyway, what I'm getting at is Kanye and Bianca go to the Grammys. Bianca just gets her beautiful heaving breasts out. And you know, on one hand, it's a point of national pride. It's great that Kanye's showing off what's available freely here in Australia. But on the other hand, it's like, could you imagine if Bianca was wearing like the sweatsuit and the hoodie, and then Kanye just rocked up with his soft penis out, just naked? Like, that's sexual assault. That what's happened there is that's just like unconsensual nudity, but because she has a rack that is so gloriously magnificent, everyone was just like, nice. But I guarantee you, if it was Kanye West's shriveled little soft penis, he would be in prison. Absolutely. In fact, I know that this has happened before. Not at the Emmys, or the Grammys rather, but I wasn't there in Australia. It was some kind of Triple J event, and a male singer got to the red carpet and pulled his pants down, and then was charged with sexual assault. Was he not? There was Australian musician, red carpet, indecent exposure. This is either I remember this, or the spoon in my brain is pressing on the wrong. I knew it. Singer Kieran J. Callahan charged after allegedly flashing his penis on Aria's red carpet. This is the Australian Grammys. Which, for any Americans listening, is like Aldi, the Aldi Grammys. Kieran J. Callahan has been charged by police after allegedly flashing his penis on the red carpet at last year's ARIA Awards. And this guy, his career was done after this. Callahan, an Australian musician, not that he had a career because he is an Australian musician on ARIA red carpet events. Callahan, an Australian musician, was charged on Monday with willful and obscene exposure in a public place. Which, yeah, I mean, that's what you get if you are a man showing your penis on a red carpet. If you're a woman with absolutely luscious, beautiful, bouncing when you walk, natural breasts, no one cares. The documents allege Callahan exposed himself at the Star Casino just after 4 p.m. on the 28th of November. It is alleged he deliberately exposed his penis in front of photographers and members of the press while wearing a kilt. And yeah, it's like it's literally the exact same thing, but because he got his cock and ball out, he gets charged. But he was removed from a festival lineup. Yeah, that's so funny. All right, so where's this guy now? So that's to give you like a contrast of this chick does it, no one cares. But what's this guy's name? Kieran J. Callahan. Kieran J. Callahan. What's this bloke up to now? Well, he looks terrible. All right. Let's open up his Wikipedia. This is what showing your dick at a red carpet does to a man. Music career. What have we got? One of the latest entries on the Wikipedia is from 2023. So, guys, not doing great. 12-month good behavior bond after being charged with willful and obscene exposure in a public place. Yeah. That is hilarious. Right. So, good luck to Kanye. May God be with him. Dude, speaking of like brain rot content that makes you dumber, I don't know if you guys have kept up with the Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein beef that's been happening for so long, I can't even remember when it started. The problem with this beef is that it's so boring and drawn out and has been happening for such a long time that I feel like time has started to dilate. That's how fucking unexciting and boring this whole beef is. Where Ethan and Hasan have been going back and forth at each other, saying the exact same shit they've been saying since the fucking conflict started. I mean, at this point, it's so boring. Time has started to dilate around it. And in my head, I feel like their beef has been going on for longer than the beef between Israel and Palestine. And that's what their whole beef is about. But somehow, theirs is so boring, it's been going on longer. If this beef continues to go on and continues to be so boring that time continues to dilate, pretty soon history books, texts will start to show up in old history books that say leader of Palestine Hasan Piker versus leader of Israel Ethan Klein. Like that's what's going to happen at this point. Would these two just shut the fuck up about each other? God, it's boring. I can't believe I'm so disappointed in myself that when Ethan Klein released his content nuke against Hasan Piker, I watched the entire 1 hour, 47 minute long video. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I'll tell you what, trying not to freak out about there being a plastic spoon in my brain. 1 hour 47. My job isn't even fucking real, and I don't have time to be watching that shit. You expecting employed people to be watching that? God. Now look, I'll say this. I don't know Hasan Piker, all right? All I know is that he's a streamer and he's very handsome. And for most people, That's enough, all right? The biggest problem that Ethan has is he's running uphill because Hasan Piker is so good looking that man could literally call for the death of America, and he has, and all of his American fans wouldn't give a fuck. They'd be like, yeah, but he's hot, so he's right. This is the problem. When you're having a go at very beautiful people and you're not a very beautiful person, it's very tough to be seen as correct, all right? Now, I'm not a very beautiful person, but I have been a pretty fucking average person, and then I've experienced a significant improvement in physical looks. And let me tell you, even for men, pretty privilege is so undeniably real that it has made me question the integrity and the ability of every single person in my life, because I get treated so much better now, and I feel like I know strangers trust me more. I don't get searched at shops anymore. I don't get looks from people that I don't know at night. Women no longer look at me and check me out to kind of suss out my vibe in a, is this guy dangerous or a creep kind of way. I just get smiles now. And I'm not hot. I'm just not where I was pre-chin, right? Hasan is beautiful. So it doesn't matter if he has a literal Houthi terrorist on his stream and has banter with him and laughs about hostages being kidnapped and then never found again, because he's like in touch with his feminine side despite being arguably a 9.5. So Ethan either needs to like hit the gym, get a 6-pack and dye those grays, or just give up the fight, because it doesn't matter how correct he is or how many points he has, of which he has many. Hasan's quite attractive, so he will never fucking win. The Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein is literally just the soy jack versus the Chad meme in real life. I mean, you look at the fucking thumbnail that Ethan Klein, it's literally Ethan going, oh, and pointing at the very handsome man. And look, I'll say this. I watched Ethan's video, unfortunately, not because it's just unfortunate because it's a fucking waste of my life. Here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem with the content, Nuke. I saw every single thing that Ethan said in this video on fucking Twitter for the last, it feels like 600 years. It feels like that's how long I've saw every single point. I've seen that on fucking Twitter at least 3 times, tweeted by Ethan. So when he compiles it all into a fucking video, it's like none of it hits, because it's like I've seen all of this. If this guy just shut the fuck up on Twitter and just posted this, it might have some impact. The biggest points is, legitimate points, I feel, is, Hasan having Houthis on his stream, right? Now, arguably, the Houthis may be fighting back against an occupying force, all right? Admittedly, I don't know anything about fucking Houthis. What I do know is that they've released footage of them taking over a ship, right, and kidnapping the people running the ship. Not a military ship, a commercial ship full of people, Filipinos, that have no fucking beef in the war, and it wasn't delivering weapons to Israel or whatever. It was just like, I don't know, probably fucking delivering stuff made by children from Temu to you. You know, contributing to the spoon in our brains, making it bigger with plastic, right? Kidnapped all of them on film, took them, they haven't been seen against, presumably dead. And Hasan's been like, dude, this is so sick. This is cool. I don't think that's cool. I don't think it's very cool to be kidnapping and presumably executing civilians. I don't think that's cool. I think that's bad. And I don't think that like popular streamers should be playing like propaganda from organizations that are killing civilians and being like, fuck yeah, this is cool. But then again, there are a lot of people that are streaming like press conferences by Bibi Netanyahu. So who am I to judge? You like that? Huh? So that's one. What's another one? He had the fucking the Houthi kid on and was like, "Oh, this guy's Luffy." Nah, I'm pretty sure that kid's killed people. I don't think that's Luffy, brother. I think that guy, like tweeting out photos of wanting to put Jewish people on pikes. I don't think that guy's strictly anti-Israel but pro-Jewish people. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the guy. So I don't like that. What else don't I like? I resent the fact that he's much better looking than I am, and that if he was like a 6, that he would not be popular at all, and he would also probably be banned. So that sucks. But that's more of that does not really doesn't matter. I don't know. There was some other shit in the video that I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad. But but who gives a fuck? I've seen it on Twitter. They've gone back and forth on each other for years. It's like, would one of you send an explosive pager to the other, please, so I can stop listening to this shit? Every time I open up fucking Twitter, there's another 4 hours of shit talk from one side to the other. This is the problem when streamers beef and don't make up, is that both of them are fucking live for 24 hours a day. So every single day, there's a new update for the drama, and they both look like shit. That's a lie. That's not true. Hasan looks great. Ooh, that makes me mad. Doesn't that make you want to, doesn't that upset you that Hasan Piker is seemingly live 25 hours of the day and he looks great? If I live streamed for like 4 hours a week during COVID and it made me look like shit. I had blue hair. I looked terrible. This man is live streaming war crimes. He's fucking glowing. I don't know how he does it. Could you imagine how much better he would look if he had a healthy job? It's probably best that he does stream. Better for the rest of us, because if that man looked after himself mentally and physically by not streaming and just leaving the house, God, it'd be over for all of us. You thought it was over for you when I got my new chin. Imagine Hasan Piker seeing the sun. I did find it hilarious, though, Ethan Klein being like, Hasan Piker hates liberals and he hates America. Like I'm supposed to be sitting there watching and be like, oh, really? I can't believe Hasan Piker doesn't like liberals. Oh my God. Are you telling me that Hasan Piker might be a little bit more radical than he's letting on? No way. Are you telling me this man might be a communist? This man might believe in violent revolution? No way. Not my Hasan Piker, who is a center-left Democratic believer of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Surely not. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of insane beefs that a 31-year-old man shouldn't care about. I mean, if you thought that it was pathetic of me to give a fuck about Ethan Klein versus Hasan Piker, let me dig even deeper and get into even more mind-numbing beefs. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm talking about. It's time for Mikaela Testa versus Anna Paul. Two of Australia's biggest TikTok creators going at each other. Quick little backstory. Anna Paul, recent winner of TikTok Creator of the Year at the TikTok Australia Awards. TikTok Creator of the year. You must be thinking, she must be some sort of children's entertainer. She must be some sort of dancer who's really good at doing the trends. She must be some sort of very relatable influencer with a positive message for mankind. Wrong. She's an OnlyFans girl who sells pictures of her tits to fund her lifestyle, which she then vlogs on TikTok for impressionable 11-year-old girls. I'm sorry. I love sex workers. I've actually been a very vocal supporter of sex workers. I have many friends and people who are in the sex work industry, and I support them fully. But what the fuck is a sex worker doing on stage at the TikTok Awards? I'm sorry, is this not an app for children? Why the fuck are we promoting someone who sells pictures of her tits in front of a fucking audience for an app that is for 10-year-olds? That's insane. I'm not trying to be some kind of fucking evangelical prude here, but will somebody think of the children? Is that not an insane fucking message for TikTok, the platform, to send to young girls 16 and up, that the TikToker of the fucking year is a girl who uses TikTok as a funnel to send people to her OnlyFans where she's a fucking sex worker? Like, surely TikTok should be promoting TikTokers that make a living out of being TikTok creators by starting businesses where they sell clothing, or by, I don't know, one of the many stand-up comedians that have filled theaters out of crowd work clips, or fucking someone who became like a chef and opened up a restaurant. Like, do you know what I mean? Why the fuck am I not getting promoted by TikTok? Because I swear, but they'll put a fucking whore on stage and be like, oh, this is the TikToker of the year. Whore in the positive, sex work is real work type way. Is that not absolutely fucking insane? So anyway, Mikaela Testa versus Anna Paul, right? So Anna Paul is like the golden child of TikTok, the app, but also TikTok, the audience. Like, everyone loves her. She posts those fucking insufferable, I don't know how people watch them, vlogs. I would probably watch it if I was 12. Hey guys, today we're going to go to this, and then I bought one of these, and then after that I've tried on this, and then it didn't really fit me, so I thought I was going to buy it, and then my brother did this, and then anyway, bye. You know those fucking, that's every video. And that's been every video for 4 years. And that's why she won TikToker of the Year, despite selling photos of her tits. Great breasts, by the way. We've got some really great heavy naturals down under. Anyway, Mikaela Testa, who is also quite big online, but is just too mentally unstable to sustain an image, right? Which, by her own admission, she probably would admit as well. Great breast, not natural, unfortunately. Surgically enhanced, but still, kudos to her surgeon, you know? And I say that as someone with a fake chin. I know it's mostly bone, right? There's a couple of brackets in there, but it's all spears, baby. I just had a little bit of a renovation. Anyway, what am I saying? Right, Mikaela Testa, former friend and former partner of Anna Paul's brother, right, comes out and basically accuses Anna Paul of being a fake friend, using her for clout, lying to her audience about how she makes her money, which, is kind of true. Lying by omission, more so, where she posts photos and videos and vlogs of her on private jets, on holidays and this and that. And like, it's like kind of supposed to look like she's doing all of this because she's some famous influencer on TikTok, but it's just because she sells photos of her beautiful breasts, right? Which is why we shouldn't be making a TikToker of the year. Anyway, she comes out and she said, I was with Anna Paul when a fan came up to her, and she's always talking about body positivity, but a fan came up to her and she was quite a big fan, not in the sense of like she was a really tapped in and massive fan of Anna Paul. It's because she was quite fat, right? And she took a photo with Anna Paul, and Anna Paul said yes and was very sweet to her face, but as soon as she left, Anna Paul said, oh, yuck, she was all fat and sweaty. Now, I've never done that. No, I've never done that big to a fat person, all right? I have absolutely done that to a sweaty person. Yuck! There's nothing. Let me tell you what. If you give me a wet handshake, you better believe when you go away, I'm going, that fuck. That sucks. And if you're a sweaty person, if you got wet hands, all good, brother. Here's how you solve that. All right, it's not your fault. You can't help it. You can't control it. Fist bump. Please, for the love of God, fist bump. If you got real sweaty hands, I'm blessed. I don't sweat very much at all anywhere. I don't know why. I just don't, right? But if you better fucking believe if I had SpongeBob hands, fist bump. That's it. You know? Sometimes people go, oh, sorry, I've got sweaty hands, and then they fucking shake your hand anyway. Why would you do that to me? You know. How about you just go, brother, and fist? That's so much cooler. Because you know that they know, and they know that you know, and then you walk away going, they probably hated that. And they walk away going, why, fuck, man, why did he shake my hand? It's so wet. Fist bump. So anyway, Mikaela Testa was like, she called a fan fat and sweaty. And I heard that. I thought, well, maybe she was fat and sweaty. Right? So I didn't care about that allegation. But then, right, she reveals that Anna Paul has been doing giveaways to people who sign up to her OnlyFans. Like if you sign up to the OnlyFans, you could win $1,000 cash, right? Now, immediately, I'm not going to lie, I heard that and I thought, fuck, that's probably a good idea. Maybe I could get more Patreon supporters like that. Like, I started taking notes. Giveaway, $500, chance to win $500 to all new Patreon supporter signups. That's a good idea. Here I am like a fucking dickhead being like, you'll get bonus episodes of the podcast. You'll get early access to videos that I do. You'll get access to a Discord server. Fuck all that. Sign up to the Patreon now. You might win $1,000. Anyway, Mikaela Testa goes on to say that apparently that's some sort of illegal lottery and you're not allowed to do it unless you sign up as a person who is like a gambling business and then you have to verify everyone's age and fuck all that noise. So don't sign up thinking you're going to win $1,000. Only sign up if you want to support what I do, get early access to the podcast, a bonus episode every single week, and to just support the mission of getting this comedy out there to the world and help me on my way to the United States of America before they shut the border and become the divided states of America, and then I have to pick a side in the Civil War to gain entry. So if you would like to help me in before they close the border, patreon.com/loosespears. You get a bunch of extra goodies, but you will not win $1,000, unfortunately. But wouldn't you feel better about saving me $1,000? And instead receiving a bonus episode of this beautiful show every week? I bet you would. This month, we're doing a book club. I'm about to review with Keelan the book club, the book that we've been reading all month that a bunch of the Patreon supporters have also been reading, and I can't wait to share my thoughts and theories on the book with my good friend Keelan, who is here with us right now. So anyway, she says this, and then Mikaela says she's running illegal lotteries, and even worse than that, because obviously, I don't know, maybe most of Anna Paul's fans are actually underage. Mikaela Testa alleges that Anna Paul has been encouraging underage people to sign up to OnlyFans. And I thought, well, you can't do that. I thought there was age verification. But actually, with OnlyFans, there's only age verification to become a creator. You don't need to verify your age to become a purchaser, right? So how's this? If you're a 15-year-old with a credit card, you can just sign up to OnlyFans and click the box that says you're 18, just like with Pornhub, right? You don't need to verify your age. I thought you needed to verify your age to be a customer, right? I tested this. You can just create an account and then you're in. Right? So if someone has, and I think a lot of people have these, if they have a free OnlyFans, Who knows who's fucking viewing it? I didn't know that. I thought it was just like verified. I think that's what we all assume. But yeah, anyway, so she comes out and she says like, look, I know for a fact that so many underage people are signing up to Anna Paul's pornography for the chance to win an illegal lottery, and she's preying on like young mothers who have run out of cash and women who are struggling and just like broke people and getting their fucking $10 a month or whatever it costs, right? Which is a huge accusation that she's manipulating underage people into consuming pornography. She's inspiring young women into starting OnlyFans accounts when those young women don't understand the potential social ramifications of being an OnlyFans creator. And she's running an illegal lottery. Then Anna Paul releases a scathing response video and says, I didn't call her fat. She was very sweaty, however. And then ignored the stuff about encouraging minors to engage in and create pornography and the illegal lottery stuff. And she said, I didn't call her fat. She was just yuck and stinky. Oh, and also, fuck, what was the other thing she said? Sorry, I've got a spoon in my brain. She said, oh yeah, Mikaela comes out and says, oh, Anna Paul was lying about being poor and then becoming rich from becoming famous. I was actually poor, and she kind of stole my story to make it seem like some rags to riches, but it was just riches to even more riches. And then in response to that, Anna Paul said, no, okay, all right, look, I didn't call her fat, but I did call her stinky. Also, look, I didn't grow up poor, but I felt poor. Which, as someone who grew up sleeping on a mattress that their parents found on the side of the road because they couldn't afford a new mattress for their child to sleep on, I resent that. All right? Anyone who grew up with a staircase in their fucking house, not poor. If you got stairs in your house, you weren't poor. Even if your daddy didn't buy you a new car for your 16th birthday, all right? I felt poor. Shut the fuck up. God, there's nothing I hate more than people pretending to be from poor backgrounds. And when I say that I didn't have very much money, even I wasn't poor. Both of my parents are together. They were employed. They weren't killing it. You know, mum's a hairdresser, dad's a carpenter, working class, right? Maybe lower working class, but I grew up in a pretty good area. They lucked out. They got a very small house in a place that swiftly became an affluent or almost an affluent area. I'd say it's affluent now, but it was like swiftly gentrifying, right? So I didn't grow up with money, but I was kind of surrounded by a lot of friends that had grown up with money. So I was like exposed to it. And there were a lot of there was like in my area, it was like a bit of a mix, really. There were a lot of people that were doing really poorly, but I would say most people were like middle to upper, right? So even I, like being from like working class background, even I wouldn't describe my upbringing as poor. Like poor is like, fuck, the fridge is empty. Mum, what's for breakfast? Shut the fuck up, I don't know yet. Sorry, I'm upset. I haven't been able to afford cigarettes from the milk bar that sells illegal tobacco. I'm stressed. Like, that's poor. But yeah, this goes back, finally, now I can say my opinion, which I've been holding back. Why the fuck is the TikTok Awards promoting a porn star as the creator of the year? That is fucking insane. While at the same time, not inviting me because I say naughty words. That's my real beef. I want to win creator of the year on TikTok, even though I probably don't post anywhere near as much as I should to win that award. But you know, I'm pretty on track to win creator of the year at Zhao Hongshu. Foreigner of the year. I might win white boy of the year on Rednote. Dude, I Remember that fucking video I put out of me accidentally going viral on Rednote? Sorry, guys. I've been fully propagandized. I've started to learn Chinese using the Hello Chinese app. Unfortunately, I am not kidding. I've started learning Chinese. I know how to say you are a Chinese person. Actually, I don't know how to say you are, but I can say Chinese person. Zhongguoren. And I said that to the receptionist of my hotel in Perth, and she said, your pronunciation was very good and your use of tones was very accurate. Zhongguoren. And apparently tones is the most difficult part. So, you know, good on me. I can also say hello, ni hao. And I don't know how to say goodbye. So, you know, and I can say thank you, Shishin. So, anyway, all of this to say, I've continued posting on Xiaohongshu after going viral on there. I am continuing to go viral. My audience has continued to grow. And not kidding, Chinese people have started showing up to my comedy shows. And how good's this? I was only in Perth. So you wait till I get to the forward base of the People's Republic of China, Sydney. I'm going to fill a fucking theater there. If I've got a bunch of Chinese fans, I'm going to be selling out arenas in Sydney, brother. If I got a couple of gay Chinese blokes into my Perth shows, you better believe I'm going to be famous. And I know people aren't fucking believing me. And to be honest, I didn't even believe it at first, right? I'm in the meet and greet after my Perth show, which, by the way, they went so well. Please come and see me live. Grab tickets. Brisbane has like, I think 40 something seats left. If you are in Brisbane, buy them now, loosespears.com. Sydney, I think, is very similar, almost sold out. It looks like I'm going to, and those aren't till May. So for real, buy them now. Melbourne is also going really crazy, but we have many more shows because it's the comedy festival. However, if you want those Friday, Saturdays, I would book them as soon as possible because I don't know what's happening, but it's looking like I'm going to be breaking records. In Perth, man, I sold twice as many tickets as I did last year. Anyway, what I'm getting to is this is so funny, dude. I do my show in Perth. It goes brilliantly. Because I'm fucking great. And then, where is this? This Asian guy comes up to me and he goes, I'm from Xiaohongshu. And I was like, yeah, good one, buddy. And he goes, no, really? I came from Xiaohongshu. And I'm like, did you really? And he goes, yes. I'm like, no way. Anyway, he opens up his app and sure enough, he's just found me on Xiaohongshu, which is so funny. I'm trying to find this clip of me and him. Bear with me. I have so much microplastic in my fucking brain, you could make a spoon out of it. Where are we? Where is it? I'm scrolling. Is this good? Is this good for you? Like when you turn on Spearhead Sundays, do you think, gee, I really hope Lewis sits on his phone scrolling. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Listen to this, dude.
What's your name? What's your name?
Oh.
George. All right, I'm here with, what's your name? George. George, where did you find me? Xiaohongshu. That's right! Glory to the People's Republic of China. It's working.
Actually, I can't remember. Did I talk about this last episode? I don't know. Again, I've got a spoon in my brain. I feel like I talked about this last episode. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Sorry, I've got a spoon in my fucking brain. Dude, I did. Speaking of being so dumb that it makes even me go, "Am I okay?" I don't know if the podcast sounds better. Hopefully it does, but it's because I bought some new gear thanks to your support on Patreon, right? I'm always trying to upgrade when we get a little bit of extra money in. I'm like, okay, how can we make this better for you, right? So I buy my own Rodecaster because before I was using Keelan's, right? I've got my own now, and I've messed with the settings and I've set it up what I think to be perfect for my voice, because he does a lot of client work because he's a cheating whore, right? He works for other people, which I think is disgusting. And he's here right now with us. But anyway, I bought my own, and so I set it up for my own voice. But when I bought it for myself, I was missing a little thing for my headphones. So I bought it on Amazon, right? Because I just love next day shipping so much that I don't care about worker rights, right? So I buy that, and I can't set up my Rodecaster until it arrives. In fact, I was supposed to record yesterday, but it took so long to arrive that I just couldn't. That's why I'm recording it today on a Sunday, okay? But again, Sunday is 24 hours, and so if it arrives on a Sunday, it's not late, fuck you. Anyway, I am waiting for my delivery to arrive, knowing that I can't record until it comes. And I actually ordered accessories on Amazon. Those arrived first, but then I bought the Rodecaster, and unfortunately it was being delivered by Australia Post. And we all know how I feel about Australia Post, okay? It is the worst service with the worst people working for it, all right? If you've ever been to an Australia Post and asked them to do the thing they are behind the fucking counter to do, ship a fucking package, they will look at you like you've just come into a kebab shop and asked for a haircut. They look at you like you're not supposed to be there. Why the fuck are you asking me to do my own job? Because it's your job, do it! I'm nice to you, why aren't you nice to me? Every Australia Post employee is a fucking evil person. Anyway, I'm waiting for my Rodecaster to be delivered by Australia Post. I have no recording equipment. It's like Thursday, I think, I'm waiting. So I'm like, if I get it on Thursday, I'll be able to record. It's supposed to arrive, okay? So I'm sitting there waiting for it to arrive. And then I hear a knock at the door. And I go, oh my God. No, sorry, I didn't hear a knock. Sorry, again, plastic spoon. My dog starts to bark, right? Now, when Bobby barks, it's because someone's here, right? She's heard someone and she runs up the front of the house. So someone's definitely here. She's barking at them. So I go, okay, cool. The package is here. I leave my house to go and meet the delivery driver. And I see a van, big delivery truck parked out the front. And I go, there's my guy. I'll save him having to get out of his truck and I'll just walk up to him so I can collect my package and sign for it, right? Because I've had a few deliveries by Australia Post to my place and I've had a sneaking suspicion that they haven't been knocking on my door. They've just been driving past the house and then ticking the box on their fucking card that says, I knocked and they didn't answer. I work from home. I'm always home. I've missed a lot of deliveries and I've started to become very suspicious of Australia Post. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I wait for evidence or I wait for someone on TikTok to say that they've read evidence, and if they're charismatic enough, not only will I believe them, I will actually regurgitate what they say and pretend that it's my opinion that is based on reading that I didn't do, that also they probably didn't do either. All right? So I'm an intelligent person. Or at least I would be if I didn't have so much microplastic in my fucking brain that you could start making cooking utensils out of it. I start walking towards this truck. I see the delivery driver. He looks at me. I wave. Hey, man. He looks at me waving. He waves at me. I go, fuck yeah, this is my guy. He's here for me. And then he looks forward and he fucking speeds off. I cannot fucking believe that this delivery driver just showed up to my house, stopped to pretend to deliver a package, filled out the card that said that I tried to deliver, but the guy wasn't home, sees the guy home, waving at him, waves back at me, and then fucking speeds off. He starts driving down the road. I run, and I get to the road, and I go, what the fuck, dude? The guy's gone. I literally go, what the fuck, dude? I'm here. He speeds off. I'm fucking fuming. I get on the phone to Australia Post to report this guy because I've had enough of it. It's like the 6th delivery in a row where this guy showed up to my fucking house, pretended to knock on the door, and then go, oh, well, and then I have to go to the fucking post office and pick up my package and go, hi, I'm here to pick up a package. And then the fucking person behind the fucking desk looks at me like I've just spat in their face for asking them to do their job. That's your job. How hard is it to go in the back and check for spears, you fuck? So anyway, I'm on the phone to Australia Post. I get on to reception And I go, hey man, your delivery driver just looked me in the face, waved at me, and then fucking drove away, pretending that he attempted to deliver a package. He's been doing this for fucking months. Every single one of my packages, this guy's pretending to knock on the door, but he's not. And she goes, all right, what's your order number? And I type in the order number, and then she goes, delivery hasn't been attempted yet. And I said, yes, it has. I just saw the guy. She goes, okay, it might be a delay in the system. And as she's talking to me, we work out there must be a delay in the system because I know that this guy just fucking looked me in the face, waved, and then took off, right? So she's going, okay, I'm going to report your driver. We're going to file a complaint. We're really sorry about this. This generally does happen, and the consequences for it are severe because we know how much people hate it, right? And we know it's been a problem. She's profusely apologizing to me. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make a complaint. And I'm not a Karen, all right? It takes a lot for me to fucking complain, but I swear 7 trips to Australia Post will make you want to burn that fucking building down. Okay? Because they don't knock on my door and I've had enough of it, right? So I'm on the phone lodging this official complaint and then my fucking door someone knocks on my door. The dog starts to go off. I go, hang on a second. Someone's at the door. I open the door and it's the Australia Post guy and he goes, hey, I just got a package for Lewis. I signed for it and I go, oh, hang on. He's come back. And she goes, what do you mean he's come back? And I go, he's come back. And she goes, I go, did you tell him? And she goes, no, I haven't contacted him. We're just lodging a complaint. And then I go, hang on a second. And I check out the front and I see that what had actually happened was the delivery driver that comes to my house to pick up merchandise that I send to you was the first guy that I saw in the truck, and he had picked up a bunch of t-shirts and stuff that I was shipping out. It wasn't the Australia Post driver, and that's why he waved at me and then drove away. It was never, and I had to go, sorry, please cancel that complaint. He's actually a great driver. I got confused and I hung up and I felt like such a fucking idiot. And now the next time I see my delivery driver that's picking shit up, I have to explain to him why I chased him down the street going, what the fuck, dude? And it's going to be very awkward because I've been working with that guy for a long time and he's a nice bloke. And I've been thinking about this all fucking week, feeling like an absolute moron for getting so worked up. It ruined my day. I was pissed off for like an hour. And then the only way I could make myself feel better was by calling Australia Post, sitting on hold for an hour, making myself even angrier to lodge a complaint about a guy that didn't even fuck up. And I've been feeling like such an absolute moron for this all week until I read that one study about how I have a fucking spoon's worth of microplastics in my brain. And I've just decided I can't help being stupid. It's the plastic in my skull. All right? So thanks for listening. I'm Lewis Spears. I'll talk to you over on Patreon. There'll be an episode up shortly. Thanks for listening. Let me know if this sounds good and come see me live. LewSpears.com. That's the URL. Or you can click it in the description if you can't remember how to spell on account of all the plastic in your brain. All right? Thanks so much. I put all of my support behind Mikaela, Testa, and Hasan Piker, Ethan Klein. I can't pick a side. I hope they take each other out. All right? That's it. Thank you. I'll see you on Patreon. I hope you have a shit one. Bye.